Hello, everybody. Thank you for the opportunity. And now I want to introduce myself. My name is Jeffrey Oxiano Sabarua. I'm a lecturer in the education program of primary school teacher in Halmahera University. Okay. The topic of paper is Indigenous counseling as a therapeutic alternative in local culture context. In the context of unique ethnic diversity, race, culture, and custom, an approach, model, or counseling technique is required that correspondent to the characteristic of the local community. Therefore, the purpose of writing this article is actually to analyze counseling best practice sourced from local culture. These counseling practices are referred to in this paper as indigenous counseling. In addition, in this paper is also analyze how the proper indigenization process to produce a concept of approved model and indigenous counseling technique. The purpose of writing this paper is to analyze the best counseling practice that come from local culture. In this paper, these counseling practice are referred to as indigenous counseling. In addition, this paper also analyzes how the appropriate indigenization process is to produce a conceptual approach, model, and indigenous counseling technique. To analyze the best practice of counseling and the indigenization process, the method used is a literature review. The literature review process begins with determining the concept to be developed, identification and tracking of previous research result, mapping and classification of research result, classification analysis, and then determination analysis of relationship between themes and conclusion. Based on the literature review process, several themes were found in the discussion, namely 1. Understand the meaning of indigenous. 2. Indigenization process. 3. The process of building indigenous counseling. And 4. Evidence-based practice. Ampuni explained there are three levels of culture adjustment that need to be made to ensure that the therapy is done culturally competent. The three levels include 1. Modification of practical method and issue to suit the needs of counseling. 2. Theoretical modification. And 3. Philosophical reorientation level. Indigenous counseling is influenced by the paradigm of intercultural counseling, multicultural counseling, or transcultural counseling. It should be pointed out that counseling is a culture product. Counseling is a culture producer, and counseling is a forum for culture encounter. Thus, it's understandable that culture and counseling are two things that cannot be separated because they affect each other, but both can strengthen the concept and practice of counseling. But on the Other hand can also weaken the concept and practice of counseling itself. From the effort, further searches of the cultural value of the archipelago at the local level are significantly reviewed for the revival of indigenous counseling. The themes of the discussion above can be conclude that in application of physical theory and counseling, it is necessary to consider and accommodate cultural factor in which theory and concept are practiced. Evidence-based practice show that culture contributes significantly to the effectiveness of the counseling process. Therefore, indigenization is needed as an attempt to contextualize theory based on context. Okay, my presentation is finished and thank you.